Chuck,
Here.
Ron,
Here.
Helen, Ken, Jerry,
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Open meeting act posters there on the east wall. Approve the August 26th meeting minutes. Y'all read them?
I make a motion to approve.
Roll call.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
Treasurer's report will be presented and filed for audit.
Can I interject here? I think the agenda says August 26th meeting minutes, but should be probably September.
Oh, September.
September 26th, yep, you
September.
are correct.
Ah, dang, I even
The
read it.
23rd, I think, was what the date is.
Okay, well,
I move for
I'll,
that.
the
I will,
Waits for nobody.
September 23rd minutes.
okay.
Good. September 23rd meeting minutes. All good still? Okay. Treasurer report filed out, okay. Acknowledge receipt of the library, Elkhorn Meadows Airport, RC&D meeting minutes, duplex financial report. Okay. And then, we're gonna, number 6 here is the public hearing for the 1 and 6th Street program for 2025. We'll start the public hearing at 7:34. Okay,
Alright,
that'd be you.
that'd be me. Well, I'm Chris Miller with Miller Associates. We are your street superintendent, so each year you guys get money from the Nebraska Department of Transportation to work on your streets. If you participate in the program, then if you participate in the program, you have a street superintendent, which they'll reimburse you for. You have to have a public hearing, which is what we're doing tonight, to talk about streets, roads, or improvements. And then they take a combination of how many lane miles you have, which is how many miles of 12-inch wide roads you have, and what the type is, whether it's gravel, asphalt, concrete. And they allocate money that was spent for gasoline tax and stuff to your community. So last year you received about $230,000 for that. Next year they're projecting $241,000. Again, one of the requirements is if you get this money, you have to spend at least allocate 25% of your own money to match with this, which is about $60,000. So really this year your open budget's about $300,000 to spend for street improvements, things that improve the street lights, anything that has to do with the streets or public right of way. So each year we have a map that you presented. We did not do any improvements last year. We did maintenance, we maintained the streets we had, we worked on repairs. You don't have to report or do anything if you take and put gravel on gravel streets. You do an armor coat on armor coat streets, or if you put 2 inches or less of asphalt on a street that's already asphalt. It's considered maintenance. If you increase the asphalt thickness, or if you take a gravel street and put it to concrete, then you have to have it on your plan and you have to report it. So that's what the plan is for. So we do break it down into 1-year plan and 6-year plan on the maps that you guys have. Like I said, it's the same as last year since we didn't do anything, but we have 2 on the 1-year plan. They're marked in red. One is up by the high school. M123 is actually your designation by the state. And then bracket 77 will be the 77th project for Atkinson that's been done under this. And the other one is M12359, which is in the blow up on the left-hand side of the sheet. And that is down Carberry Street from Highway 20 down to 2nd Street. Those are what your next priorities are for your 1-year plan. It doesn't mean you have to do it in 1 year. It just means if you have money or funds available, those will be the projects that you want to do. Those 2 combined are about $1 million worth. So on this map that you see, if we would do all of this, you're about $5.6 million of work that you have shown on this map. So a lot more than you have funding for, obviously. And that's why you kind of split it out to what you can do reasonably. But again, your 1-year plan, which is supposed to be your priority for the city, are those two projects, and then the rest of these are things that you'd like to do, accomplish in the next 6, probably to 10 years. So, with that, we take questions, it is a public hearing, we have questions or comments. And at the end, we'll have to pass the resolution to either adopt this plan as submitted, which is your same plan as last year, or you adopt it as modified, and then we can modify the plan and submit it to the state. So if you wanted to add a street or subtract a street, you can do that, and this is the time to do that.
Okay. Well, I know that school one's been talked about a lot. Especially with how rough everyone says it is. And then,
You're seeing more and more of it as the work's going on.
yeah,
And there's nothing they can do about it. When they drive off the shoulder. It's just
Breaking up, yep.
anyone in the public have a comment or anything? Leo or? Okay,
Gotta get it done sooner or later.
any questions from council here? Okay, we'll close the hearing at 7:38. Okay. Now, thank you. Now, number 7 here, we'll discuss approve resolution 2405 for the 1 and 6 street improvement program for 2025. Okay.
Obviously, no changes anybody wants to discuss, is it?
Maybe before you go there, Jerry, the Union Street, not Union, Lincoln Street, blue,
Yeah.
6-year plan, is that a city street or is that private property?
Well, that's a good question.
Isn't that Goats?
Is that little?
It's Goat Street, isn't it? I wouldn't even know that.
That one block?
So why are we even having a 6-year plan?
That was discussed a long time ago, but I don't remember what.
You know, it's on there, and we was just talking about that earlier, but I don't know why it's even on there.
Well, isn't that private property, really? I mean, we do
I think you're right.
I don't think we own it, I think it's a private street.
Can't remember.
But we laid it?
Yeah, well, we move the snow
Move
for
the
just
snow.
kind of courtesy, don't we?
Right,
We always have.
we'll always have.
I mean, I'm not,
No, I know you're not.
I just
Yeah.
question why is that in when we got our own streets? Unless that was given to the city and I don't know.
Not to my knowledge, when Goat was alive, he wanted it paved, I said, no problem, we'll pave it, but you're paying for all of that.
But just,
So we could,
Well, I bet that the people that own it now probably don't.
Right,
I mean,
and I think it's one of his kids. that-
yeah, they own it.
No, I don't-
They don't know if they want it.
I don't see that happening.
So subtract Lincoln Street, that west part of it, or east
Yep.
part?
bracket job number 81,
Yep.
we'll do, approve the plan as amended and deletion of 81.
unless they want that included in the next paving district or something, and that's why it's on the 1 and 6-year plan.
If it's truly on public property, we can't use the numbers for that anyway.
Okay.
If it truly is public property, or private, I'm sorry, if it's private
That,
property, then you can't use 1 and 6 year numbers.
I just don't ever see it happening, you Shelley,
This is North of Teen Jack.
Not if it's
Yeah,
private
that's on
property.
Oak Street.
we're not even,
I'm not even sure where that
We
street's
would
at.
never pay that.
over on Shaw. Is
Truck's gonna get
pretty much
much.
straight east.
On Oak Street?
Yeah, 76.
Number
76. That's, isn't that south of, just north of the offers?
Right,
We really got. And maybe we're looking at this at paving and
well,
not.
no, that's there is gonna be, just gravel.
Yep, grade and gravel, that's a grade and gravel
That's a
job.
great job. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
that would, if it's graded and gravel, it's done.
Yeah. It's been done.
Yeah.
It's been-
And actually, I don't even know, it's Oak Street, but we called Digger's Hotline, you know, and they just never even knew it existed. But it's on our map, so it's gotta be.
Well, they just, we went through that with part of the roads.
I think there's a sign up there, but I think it's been graded and gravelled already.
Yeah.
Cause we did that for Brent's used stores, I thought.
Okay, so we got
Sorry.
those couple changes.
Does that mean we take 76 and 68 off of the 6-year plan because they're actually done?
Yeah, that one I would pull off, if you actually grade and gravel that on Oak Street, yeah, we'll remove that and say it's completed.
But like on South Hanson, that's kind of a ongoing,
On 68,
on the 68, just as needed.
that one actually is slated in the future for 8-inch paving, is why that's on there.
Oh, for nice sakes.
From Ash down to the highway, that was slated as 8-inch paving at one point in time.
Okay.
So we take off 76, it's completed, and 81 because we don't know for sure if that's private property.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. We need a motion. We just need a motion to approve what we just said, subtracting those.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
And roll call.
Ron,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes,
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chuck.
Yep.
Okay, approved payment application number 1 in the amount of $329,059, which includes change order number 1, a deductive adjustment in quantities in the amount of $88,341 for the Atkinson water main project. They,
So this is your final pay request for the water main to be replaced in the alleys. This would be their last pay request for that. And we kept track of quantities and stuff, we had deductions for what they didn't install. We did have a few additions too, but that was the balance, was the 88,000 was what they had, we deducted off the contract.
okay,
You took a picture of that snap too.
Yep.
You went top.
Yeah, so, once you get through, if you get through this and approve items 8, 9, 8 and 9, with the approval of number 9, certificate of substantial completion, the reason it's substantial is because we have a 1-year warranty on that work for the date that we sign it, which would be tonight. So then if something comes up in the next year, they have to come back and repair, if something would happen, concrete's broke, valve doesn't work, it's under them to come back and repair that, so that's why it's a substantial completion, it's not final. So there's a year warranty with this.
okay. So we just need a motion to approve number 8,
Payment application.
payment applications.
I'll make, I'll second.
Then roll call.
Helen,
yes,
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
and Ron.
Yes.
Okay, now approve certificate of substantial completion for the Atkinson Water Main Improvement Project 463 C1003 in the amount of $329,059. As he explained, it included that 1-year warranty.
I'll make a motion for the certificate.
Then roll call.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
10, discuss approve a building permit for George Milborn for a 24 by 21 by 8 steel frame garage at 508 West Pearl Street.
Yep, there's no problem now, that's over there, Gerald Wayne's old house. And St. Joe's.
And the application was all filled out and signed properly. Okay, looked like it. Guess we just need a motion to approve it.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second.
Where'd that come from?
Jerry.
Jerry?
And then roll call.
Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
and Ken.
Okay, now number 11 here is, discuss approve a moving permit for Joe Heller to move an 8 by 20 by 8'6" shipping container to 411 South Bell Street.
That's a Button, Mitchell's equipment on the west side of the road. Highway 11,
Oh, that's down there.
yeah,
Okay,
well,
yeah.
It's on
kind
their,
of by Ryan Fitz is there.
it's on their lot though, their house lot,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What's the zoning on that lot?
I-1, light industrial.
What are the, what's the zoning on those houses clear out west of the park?
I'd have to look at the map, I'm not sure.
There's not anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Just some orders.
So is he gonna paint
Just-
it?
Yeah, add to it or?
Yeah, he said it's, pretty much brand new.
Well, we can't put a steel shipping container in residential, but we can on the industrial, correct? I guess for that reason, if everything's right, I will move to approve.
Need a second?
Second that.
Then roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Helen,
No.
Ken, and Jerry.
Yes.
Okay, 12, discuss approve a tear down permit for Charles Warlinger for a 2-story 24 by 25 house at 407 North Cheryl Street. Looked like he passed all his inspections.
That's right south of John Ellsbury.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I see he did put a time limit on it, but he didn't have it done, so. I would make a motion to approve
I'll second it.
then roll call.
Chuck,
that. Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
Okay, 13, discuss approve a dump trailer for streets department. Looked like there was a cell sheet, like a,
These are two separate trailers, the way,
looked like, yeah, cause one had like different price.
yeah. So is one used, one's new? what?
No, one's making America, the other one's
There, one was Texas and
yeah,
just different brands and stuff.
yeah, that other one's like 11.
Did you get bids from other people? So we really can't buy something with only one. And we have to put it out for bids for the dollar value?
If it's under 20 or 25,000.
Well, it's under the 30 or 50,000 that we have to get bids for.
So why do we go out for bids for a $6,000-7,000 home?
That way the council knew and we just didn't go ahead and buy it, correct?
No, we just went out for bids for them, that had nothing to do with that.
No, cause remember like the air compressor thing and all that? This here, where it's under the eliminated,
Jerry,
could
you've
have
been
just,
on this council long enough, you know how this stuff is changing.
Could've just
Come
bought it.
on, speak up.
right?
No, we always go out for bids. Then it's 5,000 and now it's 25, 30,000?
Nancy told me it's like 30 or 50,000 that you
Yeah.
have to go out for bids.
I'll call Ash tomorrow.
Yeah,
So we just thought the council would like to know.
Well, yeah, the council would like to know, but if we go out for bids for a $7,000 lawnmower, we ought to go out for bids for this. Am I wrong, Jerry?
No, probably not, but it sounded like, I guess the only reason I was going with it is, it was a pretty good deal, wasn't it? The one-
Well, you know, I
Well,
put
you
it
can,
on
you can buy
online.
dump trailers for 7,000. The one Don pulls for Mitchell Equipment, that'd be local. I mean,
We're really sure,
See, that's why we're doing this, so you know, so we know.
just, there's no standard to this council anymore, people.
So what is the exact standard about, what, does anyone actually know? I don't know, I'm telling you, I do not know.
You're talking just purchasing personal
Yes.
property.
Yes.
I see there's a statute that says, if you're making improvements to public streets, sewers, bridges, et cetera, you have to take bids in excess of $30,000. I don't know for personal property, but I mean, I can find that out.
Well, we haven't talked about it, but we do like to know when things happen.
I mean, I can see a use for it, but if you're gonna spend that kind of money, why not look at what did we pay for the one-ton truck? And that thing has multiple use. Are we gonna need to replace the Sterling down the road? If we're gonna blow 10,000 on a trailer, maybe we ought to be thinking more towards a dump truck, or a dump truck.
it was in the budget that was handed out to everybody that
What's
we
that?
approved, the dump trailer.
The dump trailer was in the budget.
The detailed budget that you received, that dump trailer was in the streets department, as a line item that nobody questioned and nobody rebutted, I guess.
but, I can sure make some
stand.
phone
Well,
calls.
no one must have read it then to see it.
It was in there.
Yeah, did you look at it?
Yes, I sure did.
Then why didn't someone
I
say
thought
something
it was
then?
a pipe dream. I thought it would go through the bid process.
I would like to know if there is a dollar figure that we have to submit for bids.
Wasn't that, didn't we discuss that one time, 10,000 or something?
I thought some of that we done just for the graces of doing it because we had more than one dealer in
Right.
the area.
But this here dump trailer is about 20 people, so.
I guess my question is, how many dump trailer dealers do we have in this community?
Well, you got,
No, it's triple
Triple
R, I guess.
R.
I sure talked to him.
Okay, go ask Triple R. And who else is there?
Mitchell went something, didn't it?
No.
Used to be a dry check or something on the deal.
Yeah, it was pretty local.
Okay, we're gonna ask Triple R, get another bid. Okay. That's why we're discussing this. Okay, number 14.
And I'll find out. the answer.
Well, if it's gonna cost us $448 to find out, don't bother. Okay, not on my account anyway. I Like this letter cost us $448, it's not worth it, Michael. So,
I'll call Lash
Good.
and have him split some.
Yeah, see what.
We can do it together.
Okay. 14, discuss approved new security cameras for maintenance shop, sewer plant, city office, and pool. I take it none of them are really working anymore?
The sewer plants are completely down. The pool was starting to drop off during the season. We don't have any here in the office, and the city offices goes down periodically. Or not city office, the city shops goes down periodically. Dave Roman and Matt Wells, I've been working with them quite a bit. They usually do my troubleshooting for this. They have been saying that the cameras are, like out at the sewer plant, there is no repairing them, and there's no way to get the same cameras back. They said that the technology, what is it, I think they said 9-10 years old now on those cameras. There just isn't there. You know, when we had the cameras priced for just the city office that time, it was $5,000, over $5,000 just for the city office. Where we're doing the bulk thing, and they're gonna have all the cameras, instead of each one being individually recorded at each site, it would all just come into the server here at the city office. That way we don't have 3 different sites where the cameras are being recorded. They'd be a little bit easier to monitor and a little bit easier to just record if we needed it or go back and look. Dave Roman gave me a estimate of $17,900, and that'll take care of the pool, the office here, the maintenance shop, and the sewer plant. And that includes all the equipment and the installation. And I think I split it between the 4 different, shop, sewer plant, office, and pool, and it was like $4,500 to each. And I did budget that in also, because I knew we needed to do something. It'd be nice to get something here at the city office again.
Back to number 13 again. Do we have to submit this for bids?
I was going by the $30,000 limit,
I think he's looking, or was, or something.
and so
I probably don't have an answer.
I didn't think we had to, so I went with Dave, because I gotta have somebody local who can be here and take care of
They
it.
jump too when you call them.
Yeah, and they do. I call Matt and he's here, like, no time for our computers anymore. I guess I need somebody who can do the computer part of it and the camera part of it here in town, because when they go down, you can't call Norfolk to troubleshoot and then have Dave, you know, or it just works better to have it the one person. And they were pretty much taking care of our camera problems all summer, because we had problems all summer with them. And the sewer plant never has come back up, so the sewer plant is sitting with no cameras right now.
For the city office, we talked about with, instead of changing stuff in the chief's office to get be better off spending less money having cameras set up.
That way they could monitor if someone would come in through either door. And I'm not gonna lie, we've just been getting some strange people into the office lately.
I guess I would make a motion to approve that, because he's local and that's who's doing our work now, and he's familiar with what we need, and he's here to fix it, so.
That's about the only option. So I can move them.
Well, they gave all of that stuff here at the community center.
They're so
Yeah.
easy to work with, that's why I like them. You can text or call them and they're just like, yep, we'll get right to it. You know, it's, And half the
second that.
stuff they didn't charge us for this summer when they fixed it, so,
Jerry seconded
okay.
it. Okay, now roll call.
Helen,
Yes.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
and Ron.
No.
Okay. We're at 15 here. Discuss approve hiring Cody Krieger full-time with water, street, sewer department at $17 hour with benefits. Okay, speak.
Anything about it.
Has he
When
been
he
working?
started.
We
He's
hired
been
him for
working
the
and
summer, and yeah, he's
Doing a good job.
been working, doing a good job, and,
Is he the one with the long hair? Kinda long, bushy hair?
yeah. He's gonna get a permanent hair shortly.
Well, it was discussed too, Gary, wasn't it, that if we, I mean, he's doing the work that you think he should be doing.
Yes.
And he's got a lot of potential. There's a void there, or going to be, at a point in time.
Right.
And if we don't hire him on a full-time basis, we're probably gonna lose him, cause he's looking for full-time employment, so.
He's not afraid to jump in and do anything.
Yeah,
Was
we
it,
noticed
was
that.
he the one working on my street there, putting that new, him,
He was just there momentarily when the cement truck was there.
yeah, they was picking up them big rocks, the concrete, you know. I mean, they could jiggle them a little smaller.
Yeah, he should be a little bit smaller.
Okay, any more discussion on hiring them?
Well, I guess we need somebody. It's willing to work.
Been here every day or not sick and stuff?
Oh, yeah, he's good, isn't he?
I make a motion, we approve hiring Cody Krieger.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Here's an asshole.
and Ron.
Yes.
Helen?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 16. Discuss.
Thanks, Chris.
Discuss approved resolution 2405,
Should actually be 24-06.
so 06. Discuss approved resolution 2406 to set salary and wages for appointed officers and employees of official year beginning October 2024.
I know.
And that's in your
So actually that Lisa isn't in the system, so it doesn't.
This says 05.
Yeah, but it should be
Oh.
2406. I'll fix it in the morning before you sign it.
How come Seth's is on there? If we're gonna approve him for full-time status, I could see the wages, but I can't see it on somehow.
I put him on there just because I thought he was, I guess he was hired, I thought. Cause he's getting benefits.
Well, he shouldn't have benefits, because he hasn't been hired as a full-time employee yet. This council has not voted on him yet.
He's not considered a police officer, but I don't think they hired him on as summer help.
I was told last month or the month before, when I was asking for documentation on that, I was told he was hired to work with Gary for summer help, and he would work for part-time for the police.
I assumed, how I understood it, how it was told to me was that he was hired for 32 hours with you? No,
3 days a week,
3 days with you and 2 days code enforcement.
We never voted on him in this council.
and then come January,
He would, in November or December, he would be voted on as a full-time police officer, that's when he would come to council for, vote for that. And then it would be, after that. That's how I understood it.
think I've been talking about this for 2 months now, so,
Okay, I guess we just fire them, so there's no,
come on, Josh.
I don't know.
We have standards that we've always had in this town.
We went and talked to you
And we
about,
went down
about
south,
your
we
business.
went south on this thing.
we told you about
This
it.
council votes for every employee we ever have had in the past.
Then we need to change our codes
I
to
know,
say
we
that.
do not need to change it just because the new people in this thing wants it. We've had standards on this, right, Jerry? Jerry, is the person on board hired people in the past without coming with the recommendation to the council for the council's approval?
Yeah,
Yes
we-
or no?
Yes, we did in the past. Yep.
But when you deal with the employment attorneys,
Shelley,
I don't know.
I'll listen to legal advice from Michael and I won't
Then I'll
agree
let
with him.
him.
I will not listen to you give legal advice, okay?
it's not, I'm just saying, when I
Well,
deal
don't
with
give us
the,
your opinion, okay?
Okay, Michael.
Is
what
that the full council's-
Sir.
and nobody wants to hear it?
I do. I wanna hear both of them.
I don't, yeah.
So when I talk to the legal attorneys, when I talk to them about the previous employees that have left, they always ask me, is it in your personnel file? Is it in your personnel manual? Is it in your code book? Because that's what people come back and sue us on. So if you wanna add that the council has to approve every employee, then you really need to get it in the personnel manual and in the code book, so that when it comes time to defending the city, that our employment attorney can. That's all I'm saying.
Is that what this letter's for?
So what's it read right now? Is that what that's what's in the letter?
Letter, ain't it?
Yeah, I left it in my
Okay.
pocket.
I read that twice, so
Yeah, it's
what
hard.
is it about?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to understand.
Sorry, so, well, I don't know if you wanna, this is the next agenda item, so I don't know. If you wanna get into that discussion now, or
Okay,
vote on what you've got on the table.
we'll do 17 at the same time, discuss hiring prior policy for new employees, so there it's all combined. Okay,
You know, I was asked the question of what authority, or what can be found, within our code book or personnel manual regarding what approval from the council is necessary to hire new employees. And I summarized that in a memo to the council and the mayor, by looking at number one, under state law, there are certain categories of employees that require advice and consent or approval from the council. And those include police officers, the chief and other subordinate officers, and other types of appointed officers of the city. Pursuant to our city code, there are certain employees that require advice and consent of the city council, which include the utility superintendent, so that's Gary's job, which is a combination of several different statutorily, outlined jobs like water commissioner and, sewer and streets, things of that nature. And Shelley's position, which is clerk treasurer, explicitly require approval from the council to hire those positions. In terms of the personnel manual, it's a little bit scattershot in terms of what is required for different categories of employees, but there are certain positions that the personnel manual and the code book are silent on as to whether approval from the entire council is required to hire those people. So, the purpose of, my conclusion is certainly there are certain positions that state statute require approval from the city council. There are certain positions that our city code book requires approval from the council. It's not my opinion that there's anything in either the state law, the city code book, or the city's personnel manual as it's currently written that all new hires require approval from the council. I'm not saying that's a bad policy, or I'm not taking a position on whether that's the right, and it's not my intent in that letter to take a position on whether that ought to or ought not to happen, or whether that happened in the past. I was asked
to determine what the law says, and my opinion is, I don't think it's necessarily required, under the way, the code and the personnel manual are drafted currently, that all hires must be approved by the full council. That's not to say this council want to decide to change that, to require that, you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I don't think, in my opinion, it's necessarily required, is the conclusion that I came to.
Okay. Wow.
Well, given that, is it with the rhetoric that we've had on this one single issue here, do we need to adopt our policy that all employees will be voted on by the council?
Yeah, because
And just cut the tape?
I'm scared that you're gonna end up with somebody who doesn't get hired by a supervisor, and then they say, well, council didn't vote on it, and then you have one that the supervisor wants to hire, and then the council says, nope, we don't want him, and then they go, oh, it's not your, I didn't need to be hired by the
I
council.
would make.
That's what I mean, I
I
just,
would make a motion of some, whatever it takes to get the policy changed.
So it reads
where
all.
we vote on all employees.
we just.
I think probably the way to do that is to draft an ordinance amending the city code, and that can be taken up probably at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
It just is a matter of somebody that's sat on the council, and this is my opinion only. I think what makes it hard is if you're on the council and you're not on that committee, for instance, or whoever approved, and then people ask you what's so-and-so, it's hard to answer that, well, I didn't know we even hired this guy, or gal, or whoever, and I think I can see the confusion that it puts in this room, just among all of us, who's required to come to us and who's not. If I was sitting where you're at, I'd wanna know.
We informed them.
Yeah, I'm just,
Inform me that you were looking at, possibly looking at doing this,
And we're,
getting somebody to do what he's doing, and I said I was not against it, what it was done. But at that time, we had voted on every employee. So you gotta understand where I'm coming from.
right, we need to.
The personnel committee is a committee, and up until the local, this last deal, the newbies or whatever we've got going on, it was always handled that way, whether it had to be, or common courtesy, or what. And I would think Jerry would remember this, but, and somebody had to tell the personnel board that they could do this. Nobody wants to say anything, but somebody had to tell them. Somebody had to tell them, they wouldn't dream it up. So, it's not right.
So
You
we'll,
walk into the grocery store, you walk in anywhere, and they ask, it makes you feel like a damn fool, cause you don't, I don't know this guy. I'm not saying disagree what he's doing. It's not right. Everybody in this room was elected.
okay, so we need to change that policy or whatever, so every employee, that way there's no.
Oh, yeah, write that up, and we'll vote on it at the next meeting.
Okay, see, we're getting some things straightened out.
And we're back to number 15, right? No.
16.
16,
Okay.
discuss the wages and salaries for appointed officers and employees for the fiscal year beginning October 24.
I make a motion to approve them.
Can I object before you do that?
Go for it.
Can you make a motion to approve them, and then your motion to approve them, except for Seth, until next month, and when he's hired by the rest of us? Then have him.
I don't know. If you're making what I'm hearing you do, Ron, is you're making a motion to amend Chuck's motion to approve all of them to get everyone but Seth. So you need a second on your motion, that would need to carry, and then if it carried, you could vote on the motion as amended.
So in other words, first it's gotta be Chuck's motion first.
Well, no, Chuck's motion's on the table, you've moved to amend it. And you would need a second to amend pursuant to your motion, you would wanna vote on that, and then.
Okay, what Michael said.
My Robert's rules probably aren't as good as Leo's, but I think I've got that right, don't I?
Yeah, I was just questioning whether somebody seconded Chuck's motion or not first.
I don't think anybody has.
Oh, well, then,
So then before somebody has to second his motion or not, and then.
Yeah, that's.
and then you could, I got you, I'm sorry, I
No,
missed
you're
that.
good.
Well, I'll second the first motion.
And now Ron would move to amend that.
And I'll move to amend it, that we do everybody but Seth until next month.
That's not gonna terminate for a month or anything.
No.
Oh, so he just isn't approved.
Just doesn't get it.
Oh, well, I don't see any harm in that. Second one.
Okay,
So
Okay.
you got the first one.
the first one, Chuck and Jerry, and then Ron, motion to amend to remove Seth, and then Helen,
Seconded that.
second.
You need to vote on the amendment, and if it carries, vote on the motion as amended.
Let's see.
Perfect.
First one, you gotta vote on the first one?
Yes.
First, and
Vote
then.
on
You're
the
voting
first-
on whether to, no, you have to vote on whether the amendment carries
Oh.
first.
Okay,
Mhm.
so we're voting on if the amendment carries,
And Helen.
so we need roll call on that.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call.
On my amendment, on the first.
No,
No,
it's
No.
on that one.
Okay.
So we need a vote, so he was, and then that, or. Sorry, then Helen did it,
I
now
got
we
it.
need,
I'm with you.
now we need, okay, you need a roll call
There you
on
go.
Ron's. So, say, so Scott,
Yeah. Yes.
The amendment, you want
Yes,
to
yeah,
roll
was
call?
it
me
You want me
Yeah.
to amend it?
no, were you paying attention?
Well, yeah.
Okay, stop. Ron amended Chuck's, okay, Helen seconded. All that is for is to hold Seth's raise, so nothing's changing with him until next month when we vote on it.
I actually didn't include a raise.
So if you say yes, that means you're agreeing with these two. If you say no, that's like you disagree. So, do you agree with Ron and Helen?
Yes.
Okay. Chuck,
No.
okay, Jerry,
No.
okay. Now that's done, so now.
No.
No, cause you gotta go through the
Okay.
list. Helen,
Helen second.
yeah, I know, but she's still gotta vote.
Helen,
Yeah.
and then
Candace
Ron,
Yes.
and then Ken.
is gone, and then Jerry is yes, right?
No.
Or no?
Crazy, no.
So I got Chuck and Jerry, no. Ron, Helen, and Scott, yes.
No, so your
Okay.
amendment passes, and the motion on the table is to approve all salaries and wages except for Seth until at least next month. And now you can vote on.
That.
And I had a motion by Chuck, second by Jerry, to approve resolution 2406 with the amendment to remove Seth from the salaries and wages. Correct?
That's what's on the table.
Correct.
Okay. So I just need to do a
Roll
roll
call.
call.
Unless there's further discussion on that before you.
Yeah, unless there's any further discussion.
Do we have to do another resolution in November for Seth then?
It'll be the next meeting.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's what we'll do though.
Right.
Okay.
That's what Ron is.
It won't be a resolution, it'll just be a vote to hire him or not hire him.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm good.
Okay, now roll call.
Okay, Jerry? This is on the original amendment without Seth. Or original resolution.
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Helen?
Yes.
And Ken?
Wow, okay. Now we're on 18. Discuss approve interest due on the Boyd Hole E911 2023-2024 invoice of $2,565.70. What was the donation thing? Did you all see that?
Yes.
What was that?
I didn't hear that, what was it?
It was in the packet.
Oh,
I don't know why it says
The
donation.
highlighted thing?
oh, yeah.
I talked to Boyd Stroke this last week, and, he said that O'Neill had passed theirs and paid theirs, I think Stewart has paid theirs. He said that, it could go either way as far as whether we would win or whether we would lose. He said you may spend more in legal fees to fight this than if you would just pay it. He said, of course, he says, I'm willing to defend you on this, cause Michael is, in a conflict of interest. But he said, you know, you have to take into account the legal fees that will accumulate on this also, what is best for your city.
Question I got on it is the rent for the tower space. Is there a contract on that that states it, that that's the rent?
Is that for the tower
I
down here?
think that is in the actual interlocal.
Is that
I
behind,
would have to look for
Is
sure.
that what
is that behind St. Anthony?
Oh, yeah, that's
That's a
where it's
That's
at.
a deduction.
Deduction.
Can I ask a
They can raise their expenses lives, they.
Oh, we charge them more to rent it?
Well, we charge them $2,565.70.
You probably would have had to have that in before their budget went into effect in October like ours.
Can I ask a question? So I missed a couple. Why did O'Neill and Stewart have a change of heart? Why did they pay when they weren't going to?
I don't know. O'Neill, I talked to Sarah and she said that it was in front of her council last month and she didn't know which direction it would go. And we talked later that week and she said that they voted to pay it. I'm sure their interest payment was way more than ours because they pay almost double to what we pay. They held their payment just about as long as us. So I don't know.
I was just curious.
It doesn't take long. I guess I'm looking at it, I don't want to pay it, really. I feel like that's kind of a bogus thing, but in the same respect, it doesn't take long to accrue up $2,500 worth of legal fees, and then you might still end up paying this interest charge. So I guess I'm looking out for what's best for the taxpayers.
I guess I make a motion, we pay it, keep it under the rug until
Need a second?
I'll second
Roll call.
Scott,
Yeah.
Chuck,
Yeah.
Ron,
No,
Ellen,
Yes.
Ken, and Jerry.
Yeah, I suppose, yes.
Okay, 19, approve the delinquent utilities report. Yes, a couple hundred, 220, $22.99. Okay.
I make a motion to approve it.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Ellen,
Yes.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
Okay, monthly reports from the
Nope.
depart.
Approved
Oh,
claims.
yeah. Approved claims as prepared. Did everything look good to you too? Like,
Yeah, I didn't need that one.
Just slaying.
what was
This
it?
here.
Yeah, I just asked where that,
What was the,
what the deal was on that, it was answered, so. I make a motion to approve.
okay.
Second.
Roll call.
Ron,
Yes.
Ellen,
Yes.
Ken, Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chuck.
Yes.
Okay, now, monthly reports from the department supervisors, library, ED, water, sewer, streets, parks, Woodlawn Cemetery, community center, fire, civil defense, and police. Gary?
Yes, on the, start here, on the sewer, we're gonna have to drain or get them sand tanks. There's been a lot of debris that's came through over the years. Wasn't getting caught in the
Auger?
auger. And now that, we've got a couple of people down there and we're back flush, it's moving all that stuff up from the bottom. When I say stuff,
I know what goes through the auger.
plastic, I mean, it's a mess. I've got Johnson Services, I've talked to them, where they can come up and suck the tanks out. They said they can do it in 2 days, $500 an hour. But it's something we gotta do.
Is that lighting all good in that auger still, that bristles?
Oh, the bristles,
It's a transfer.
I've got an extra set.
All good?
Full 2 days probably take.
Yeah.
Then that auger still working good?
Oh, yeah, it's working. It's, the Kirby's getting about, what do they say, about 100 pounds a week out
From the tank?
from the auger.
Oh.
Prior to that,
What, cause it filled that bag, that trash?
yeah, there's a bag in
Uh-huh.
the trash can. Prior to that, we was lucky to be getting 100 pounds out every 4 months. So that
Oh.
auger got adjusted to where it needed to be. And now it's working great.
Good.
So we're kinda rolling through the whole system.
Cause that all collects in that basement part in the grate?
Right.
Okay.
So we've
Okay.
hauled that out.
So it's functioning.
Yeah. We made it through the disinfecting UV season.
We got those lights out.
Yeah, got the lights out, made the permit all summer long.
Okay.
So we'd like to get that done before it gets too cold, because if it gets too cold, it's hard to get the bugs back going.
Okay.
But I let you know. Proceed.
You want to go ahead and get it pumped? I mean. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I suppose so, if it's maintenance stuff we gotta do, we gotta do.
Anything else?
Well, on the sewer, they're working on their power washing the pool down, getting ready to paint the pool. I don't know if anybody's been up there, but that's what's happening. The GMC, are we willing to get rid of that on Big Iron?
All the blue dump.
Yeah. Cause, I suppose if we got cut them down the highway or even the back road, it'd probably cost us more in fines than it would mean,
So we wanna get rid of it then?
it's an 84, 85.
Okay. Anyone have thoughts on that, or,
Is it a piece of junk?
I know I drove it that one day at the shop,
Beyond
Scrap
its-
iron?
It's at the end of his life, ain't it?
Yeah, it is, it's served a purpose, Paul City, and I went to Michael's truck sale in Lincoln, and bought it. City of Lincoln owned it, we got that years ago.
maybe wheel, pipe.
If that, is that the one that's got like the first two subframes are cracked and you're the only one holding it on the drivers? As a recent pullover by the DOT, one of those guys. Sorry.
So maybe we just get rid of her, is that the plan?
What do you list it for, Gary? How much is it worth?
Oh, shit, no.
Whatever you can get out of it, I mean, honestly, when you put it on big iron, there's no reserve.
That's on reserve.
That's,
Take it.
yeah,
And it'll go,
Brings what it brings.
anything.
it'll go to Kansas or somewhere.
What,
Price of iron.
the only thing about, I mean, we were talking about the city's, purchasing personal property. In terms of selling personal property, there needs to be a resolution directing the terms of the sale and that sort of thing. If it's greater than $5,000, that also needs to be published in the newspaper. So I don't know if on Big Iron,
I'd be surprised if it came on 5,000, but then again, I would hate to say no, it won't, and it brought in 6,000.
well, it just could, the sale couldn't close soon, but I mean, when you sell on there, do you have the ability to say this is contingent upon approval by some other body? If that's the case, I would be reluctant to sell in that manner, probably. Right, I mean,
Well, the last time we put something in the paper for open bids was when Riley brought our little Ford pickup and he made the offer, we just sold it for $200. He bought it for $700.
I mean,
Do we just put it in the paper?
I suppose you could say, the manner and terms, you'd need a resolution directing the sale and the manner and terms of the sale. If the manner and terms of the sale were gonna be listed on, Big Iron, it says if the fair market value of the property is greater than $5,000, it also needs to be published in the newspaper. I suppose you figure fair market value probably before you would list it for auction is probably less than that, so I would think you would just want a resolution maybe at the next meeting saying the terms are it's gonna be posted on Big Iron for, public auction, and that needs to be posted in 3 places around town after it passes.
Okay. That's good. Anything
And
else?
then on streets, you all want to laugh at me when I bring it up. We're in October, but, we need to start talking snow removal, we're gonna do the same thing we did last year. Hire somebody to haul it off Main. I know it's early,
My phone said today the first snowstorm's 18th and 19th of October.
Oh, no, I'm on vacation.
It's-
No. Good, I hope I get snow
the
stranded.
first one won't last too long.
So we need to, you just telling us?
Well, I'm just telling you,
Okay.
if something happens,
I've been gonna visit with John again, just see where he's at on it, but I haven't got that done.
yeah, you're all busy picking beans. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up to, better start thinking about that, because we need moisture where there's snow or rain.
We're out of fog days. Locust has been hammering away also. Does that mean anything?
Okay, anything else, Gary?
No, that's good, that's it.
Okay.
I'd
Shy?
like
Or-
to, I'd like to ask you a question
Yeah.
about the police deal.
Yeah.
I was hoping Jimmy was here tonight. What is our agreement with the sheriff's department? if Jim's not available for like, I got turned down the last 2 weekends for, coverage to get on the highway for funerals, and both of them were at Presbyterian Church, which is tough on that corner. And I called O'Neill and they said nobody's on, and they didn't have anybody in the area. So I didn't know if we had an agreement with Holt County they're supposed to cover, or does anybody know?
So far as I know, I don't think there's any sort of interlocal with
Okay.
the sheriff's, for coverage.
All right, I'll talk to Jimmy about it, but I don't know what can happen on the weekends then,
I thought there was usually an officer on the weekends. I mean, I think there's maybe in the dead of the night, maybe for several hours.
but I was told, Saturday that there was no coverage for Atkinson until 10 o'clock at night, Saturday night.
Another training.
This last Saturday night?
I don't know. the
I
answer
called
to
at
that.
9 o'clock in the morning for a 11 o'clock escort, and she said nobody's on in Atkinson until 10 o'clock tonight. I said, is there a sheriff available? No. So I guess I'll just wing it then, so.
Huh.
So I'll talk to him about it, but I just
Yeah.
wondered if we had some kind of agreement with the sheriff's department that you guys knew and they weren't holding up their end or something.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I'll ask Jim about it.
Usually have somebody.
Well, I thought he came
Well,
on
we
like at
usually
11
have
or
somebody
12 on
on,
Saturday,
but
I heard 479 come on.
And I know it sometimes is difficult. I mean, sometimes I know that they don't come in until they usually don't come in until probably like in the mid-afternoon on the weekends. But I would say like if you just talk to Jimmy or whoever's on, if you know,
Yeah, it was
I'm
Saturday
sure that
because
they
he
would be
said the
willing to work
game's
with
on
you. I
this.
mean,
Yeah, but I was just told there's nobody on, so I assumed the sheriff was supposed to cover, but I didn't know.
I mean, I think the sheriff has responsibility to cover 911s and calls for
That's about
service,
it, though. Okay.
but maybe not other.
He was on Saturday.
mhm.
He definitely was. Cause he come and talked to me up at his house. He did paperwork. I forget what time he said he come on, but he did paperwork because the game was on. So he knew there was nobody out tearing around.
Though somebody needs to tell the dispatcher no Neil that thing,
I
cause
think
that's
she
who I call.
She gets a copy of the schedule, I know Jimmy's been having problems with them over there, but
And I'll tell him he's got a big problem because they told me nobody was on.
yeah,
So, and I'm just trying to find out what what happened.
I would just talk to him because he can tell you when he was on that day, I can't remember.
I know he worked Saturday in the afternoon this year.
This was Saturday afternoon.
I'll bet he'll be surprised to know that he wasn't.
Yeah, cause I texted him.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the weekend that Trent's here, he's here all
And he
weekend.
was there Friday, I texted him Thursday and he said he'd be there, yeah.
Good. That's just what she told me, and I found that hard to believe, but I said, okay. And there was nobody there, so.
Okay. Any, Shy, or Gary, you got it?
Yes, sir.
I got a note, a letter from the State of Nebraska Tax Services, Department of Revenue. Our, first deduction on our sales tax is gonna take effect this month. The full amount is $47,269.35. They will take the full amount. If we don't have enough tax and sales taxes this month to cover it, they will deduct it from next month, and next month another one is supposed to start. So, spend wisely,
Yeah.
because we don't have that, we don't have any real estate and personal property coming in, we depend on the sales tax and the highway allocation and the municipal equalization funds to get us through these first 3 months.
Shouldn't that affect our LBA 40 money that goes out? Shouldn't we
We
pull
budgeted down,
back that money so we don't go out and pull it out till we regain?
we have the money there in the bank account, so Lori didn't see a problem with it. We just, on the budget, we budgeted low on the income on sales tax, so that it didn't look like we over had money in the LB 40 account to get us in trouble there.
I mean, no, new LBA 40 requests, should we pull back the normal standards, like the $10,000 max and?
That's up to you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, like when you guys vote on it, so if I bring a grant or even a loan request to the table,
That's
to
why it
the
says
agenda,
up.
and you say, nope, we're only gonna give them 30,000 instead of 50,000, that's on you guys.
That's
That's on you
I
guys,
was
I mean,
That's what it says up, yeah.
The
I was
money-
just questioning if the income's coming in less, the outgo should go.
right,
The money is there in their bank account.
Yes.
So we're kind of covered there if we do have a business that comes in and needs it, but, again, whatever.
Okay,
Has the LBA 40 committee been told that too, so.
She's been working with them.
yep, we've talked, and then, I just have a couple things. Our website is up and going, if you look at it and you see any changes that need to be made, let me know. We're still working out kinks, but it's pretty much functional at this point. We did receive the results back on the community needs survey, and I'm working on getting a meeting together with Cheryl Hyatt, MVPD, Lindsay Vaness, and myself and Shelley to go over that. And then we will present that to the council after we get that, all that, stuff compiled but if you would like a copy of the survey, you can stop in and get one. I have them. We haven't heard anything on the RCRP grant that we applied for yet. Hopefully we will know by the end of this month at the very latest for that grant. We closed on the Olson repair loan. We have an annual meeting for Central Nebraska Economic Development District in Ainsworth on November 4th. And I was elected as one of the board of directors, so I have also taken on that opportunity, and that's been pretty fun. And then paper shredding, last week we had a great turnout. I think we raised around $200 in donations that we'll send back to RC&D this year, so that will fund for next year.
When they're going through the bills and I see Michael's charges in there for the LB 840 or for LB 840, whatever people it's for, do we keep paying that out of our own bank account, or does that gets charged back to that loan where when they have to, we have to pay
Right.
the lawyer fee to do the documentation on that? Does that get charged back to them, so they pay that? Or they get granted this money and then it's plus whatever the lawyer fee is, we pay that out of our own pocket? And if we do, we should look at not doing that.
I mean, I don't think that that's included.
Well, it should be included in their loan fees.
Yeah, I don't think that is included in loan fee. I mean, I would say we
You see
probably
what I'm
make it
saying?
up. I mean, I'd say we probably make it up in interest, but I don't know for sure, yeah. Yeah, we don't do anything like that, but that doesn't mean we can't, I mean,
Well, we need to make sure that there's an LB 840 guideline that isn't there that says you can't, because it's a program thing. You just make sure before you
check
do
into
it.
that.
You need to check into
We'll
it
check
before you
into
do it.
that.
Cause I would think that if that was an option, we would hopefully have been doing that.
Good idea.
Then is O'Neill helping you?
yeah, we need to have that conversation
Yeah.
eventually, the HCD conversation. I think I need to talk to a couple different people before I bring that monkey to the table, so.
Okay, we'll do that next month or something?
Yeah.
Okay, next month we'll, do that. Okay. Anything else from anyone? Okay, I guess need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Need a second? Second it. Roll call.
Ellen? Yes. Ken? Jerry? Scott? Chuck?
Yes.
And Ron?
Yes.